We'd all go to our seats, please, and rise as Father Jerry Desmond says grace.
Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God our Father, we give you thanks for the many blessings of this day. We thank you for the love that has brought Mike and Brenda together, for their families and friends who gathered here to support them and wish them well. We thank you for the lovely weather, the beginning of summer, our food, our health, and the fellowship that we share this evening. We ask you to bless this food, which is just another sign of your great love and mercy to us. We ask this through Christ our Lord.
Will be served very shortly. This way. All the way around. And after that, you guys come in to this table here. Okay? All the way around. There is, well, mind you, that's the last group over there. I think you're going to be last because there may not be enough left. Nevertheless, this will go. So, the caterers are pretty ready. So, I think everybody's with you the rest of your life, so it's just fantastic. This time I'd like to thank the caterers, people who put up this lovely dinner. I don't know if they're going to come out or not, but can you hear me okay over there?
What?
Can you people hear me okay?
You're fine.
No. Seems to be a bit of a buzz or something. Is this better now? Can you hear me okay back there? Okay. At this time, I'd like to thank the caterers. If they're there, the people who serve the meal, I'd like to come out here and let's give them a fine appreciation. Fine hand for the people. Thank you very much. It does give me great pleasure to be here tonight to be the MC, and at this time I'd like to introduce the kid table. I'm going to start on my far left, and almost halfway I'll stop and I'll start from my near right and work and we'll leave the honored couple to the very last for the introduction. So starting on the far left are Carol and Peter Stasia, who are the parents of the groom. By the way, if my pronunciation is out a little bit, forgive me, I'll try my best. Next to them is Michael Zahaiko, nephew of the groom, and the minister. And next is Brenda, friend of the groom, the Winnipeg family. And also sang in the duet at church. Next to him is Ken Collinger, friend of the group. And next is Rick Pollock, friend of the group, Winnipeg groomsman. Next to him, Blair Winnick, friend of the group. Starting nearest to me now, the parents of the bride from Newson, Saskatchewan, Canada, home of the Rough Riders, Tony and Carol Rocco. Next to them, Susie Basic, niece of the group. Next to her, Cheryl Liss, cousin of the bride from Winnipeg. Next to her, Glenda Coral, friend of the bride from Campsite. Maid of honor, sister of the bride, Sandy Dothel. And of course, the honored couple, ladies and gentlemen, Brenda and my Stasia. We have some honored guests here. Special guests I'd like to introduce at this time. Grandmother of the bride, Mary Dothel, is she here? Grandfather of the bride, Charlie Brown. Godparents of the bride, Isabel and Mike Bliss. Godmother of the groom, Joyce Anderson. Godfather of the groom, Ed Cashman. The two ushers, Brad Dopko, brother of the bride, and Robert Skolnicki, who is friend of the groom. At the guest book, we had Kurt Schuster, who's a friend of the bride, and Laura Carl, who's a cousin of the bride. And the two readers, sister of the groom, Deanne Tabor, and Brenda Schuster, who is a friend of the bride. On programs, Casey Stasiak, niece groom, Shannon Zahaitu, and Joanne Zahaitu. The accompanist at the church, Elizabeth Wojcik. The soloist was Glennis Corkle. And of course, Brenda File sang the song with her during the signing of the register. I've known Brenda most of her life. I suppose as her school teacher, 1 or 2 years ago. She was an excellent student, an excellent athlete. But you know, there was something else that Brenda was very good at. She was on the SRC. And back in grade 12, her and Pam Butella Copeland, who is here as well, and Glenda Coral, who's a bridesmaid here, decided to have an SRC meeting in the girls' washroom. I don't know if the argument got out of hand, but I do know as the noise began to emanate from the washroom, Principal Dennis Berger, who was seated over there, walked by, and I'm not sure if he kept the door down, but he did tell them, you've got 3 seconds to get out of there and now. To my knowledge, we have never ever had an SRC meeting in the girls' washroom since. You remember that, Brenda? Okay. Mind you know, I've known Mike for 1 or 2 years. You know, I met him here sometime ago, or met him in Houston, I should say. Mike is a pretty good golfer. I've golfed with him, he's excellent. One time he was golfing by himself. And he was on this course, and he was teeing off, and it was a 160-yard hole, and there's water between the tee-off box and the green. And he had an old golf ball in one hand and a new golf ball in the other. And he didn't know which one to use. You know, there's water here. All of a sudden, a voice came down from above and said, use the new ball. So he puts this ball down on the tee, he's about ready to hit this ball, the green, and the voice said, step back and take a practice swing. Which he did. Then the voice said, use the old ball. Nevertheless, he agreed he would golf. I golfed with him. Fantastic. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon Brad Globko to say a toast to the bride. We'll have the toast to the bride and the toast to the groom, and the responses will be after the 2 toasts, okay? So with Brad come up.
just got that straight before we start. Brenda and Mike, members of the bridal party, family and friends. Very honored to be presenting the toast to the bride. As we look over at Brenda, we see a beautiful young woman setting out a new, exciting part of her life. Actually, it's not a new exciting part, it's another exciting part. That's right, Mike, before she met you, she was exciting. And still is, okay? Maybe I'll reflect on Brenda's path a little bit to, better justify my comments. From a brother's standpoint, it's hard to say, but I think Brenda's always been quite a looker. I know one time, one summer in Yorkton, she took advantage of her good looks to steal the honor of Parade Queen from the locals there. Actually, it wasn't Parade Queen, it was Freckle Queen, and she won hands down. A lot of Brenda's excitement seemed to happen when she was in uniform. In her Girl Guide uniform, Brenda attracted trouble in the form of wood ticks. She easily held the record for most wood ticks in one night at Girl Guide camp, somewhere around 20. Another uniform which attracted trouble was her Kentucky Fried Chicken uniform. One day at work, a man comes in, shows a gun to Brenda, and demands all the money. Brenda, being the generous person she is, gives him the money out of the cash register and the safe, which he didn't even know existed. As he drove off, Brenda got the license plate number and he was caught in no time. I have to say Brenda's best uniform to date would be her ball uniform. We all know how to grab the attention of her coach. So much so that her best catch to date would have to be the diamond ring she caught inside her glove on Sunday afternoon in Moosin Lake. One thing I've noticed since Brenda met Mike is how frisky or mushy she's become. This really showed up when Brenda and Mike visited us at New Year's in Stony Plain, Alberta. We were having a quiet New Year's Eve party. There was about 5 couples there. We're all sitting around playing cards. When it was about 10 after 11 and Brenda realizes in Winnipeg it's midnight. So, being the frisky girl she's become, she reaches over to Mike, punches him on the shoulder and says, "Happy New Year, honey." Well, needless to say, when the real New Year's rolls around, I can lift my arm for 2 days. Brenda, I watched you grow from a crowded baby in diapers to a freckle-faced teenager to the beautiful woman you are today. As brother and sister, we've gone through a lot. Together we shared times of happiness, like the night you called and told us you were getting married. There's been sad times like the day I left home for tech in my goofy bell-bottom jeans. Fun times when we were trying to learn how to water ski with Uncle Mike going about 60 miles an hour because he thought that's how fast he had to go. There was a time you were mad at me because I borrowed your bike, left it in Colleen's driveway, and her dad backed over it with his truck. Then he took it out to the farm and dropped the swather on it to finish the job off. All of these feelings will show up in your roles as husband and wife. They will not hinder your relationship, but instead strengthen it. Your love for Mike will increase and grow into something that you didn't know could be so strong. Brenda has always been a hard-working, reliable individual. She excels in everything she sets out to do, whether it be work, school, sports, or friendships. With these qualities in mind, I know Brenda will put her whole heart and soul into her marriage with Mike. Brenda, I'd like to pass on to you wishes for your marriage, the same wishes that were passed on to Lori at our wedding. Brenda, I wish you abiding happiness and prosperity to fulfill the dreams that you both may share. The strength and courage to face the trying times that may face you in the years to come. Understanding and tolerance of one another's faults and failures. Good health so that you may have a long and fulfilling life together. True friends to help you celebrate your triumphs and console you in your sorrows. And last but not least, I wish for you both a family to carry on the heritage of your love for one another, faith in God. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and toast to me in prayer.
I'd like to now call upon Blair to make the toast to the group. Blair? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of the bride and groom, I'd like to thank everybody in attendance here tonight for participating in this very special day for Mike and Brenda. I'm proud to be standing up as Mike's best man. When he first asked me to be best man, he mentioned to me that I wouldn't be master of ceremonies, they have someone else do it, for the fact that I do tend to ramble on and on. So, tonight, Mike, I will be concise and to the point. Just something I jotted down last night while I was having a sit down. Mike and I have both known each other from our early school years and became friends through our involvement in hockey. Being only 5 years or 5 days apart in age, we were always in the same class, on the same teams, etc. So we did get to know each other quite well. Stesh, as he was known back then, could always be found back row center in all the team photographs. He was always a skinny kid, tall, same height since I've known him. It's the same height, I don't know, he's never grown, he's never shrunk. At this time in my life, I found Mike to be intelligent for a defenseman. And always tried to improve himself in whatever he tried to do. We carried on through junior and senior high school, and unfortunately, in most cases, friends tend to go their separate ways upon graduating, as is the case with Mike and myself. Mike went on to further his education in university and is now currently employed on a telephone system. It wasn't until about 6 or 7 years ago when our paths crossed again. I just started coaching hockey, and I was in desperate need of some help defensively. Where can I find someone? Who can I call? I had no idea. The qualifications seemed simple enough. Needed someone educated, defensive-minded, perhaps someone who even played defense at one time. Someone with leadership qualities. Well, after writing these qualifications down on a piece of paper, I knew I had the right man for the job. Unfortunately, Randy Carlisle wasn't available, so I called Mike. And after not talking to one another for 6 years, I just picked up the phone and called Mike, and without hesitation, no question of doubt, he just said, "Sign me up." And the friendship was rekindled. I did fail to list one major, at the time I thought minor qualification on my job application. and that is I wanted someone mild-mannered. You see, even though our team roster stated Mike and myself as being co-coaches, I seem to be spending half the time on the bench alone. See, Mike had this problem. He hated referees. It was a sickness. Anything in black and white stripes, forget it. Bench minors, gross misconducts, game misconducts, Mike had them all. Despite his achievements in the penalty minute column, we still managed the winning record, however. As time went on, I began to notice something about Mike. Every time we would go to different social functions, he would have a different girlfriend. This is the truth. I couldn't believe it. Holy shit. Sorry, Father. What does this guy have? I couldn't see it. It was getting to the point where my wife, Tracy, didn't want to meet any more of his girlfriend. Once she started to get to know them, poof, the next day, she's gone. Someone else. Brenda, I'd like to take this time now to just feel honored you must be to be the one who has captured Mike's heart. As for myself, it was getting so bad with all these different girlfriends, I had to start a photo album. I started taking pictures of them, write their names down so I can keep track of Brenda. I have them here with me tonight. So I will pass this on to you later on this evening. Kindling. In all seriousness, I mentioned before, Mike is currently working for MTS and is continually upgrading his education there and moving up the corporate ladder. He changes positions in that company so much more than this would be the same as much as he's changed his girlfriends. Mike, I'd like, before saying what the MTS or the MTS crowd there, he's also a company man. I know this for a fact because he did just purchase, or a couple years ago, purchased a home in Charleswood, which for people from out of town always seems to be an area of town where the phone never works, so he's cut down on the customer complaint replies. Mike, I'd like to say it has truly been an honor knowing you for all my life. I respect and look up to you as a friend and look forward to the memories which haven't happened yet. At this time, I'd like everyone to raise their glass, wishing you lots of love and happiness as you start a new chapter in your life. To the group. And Mike, if I can offer Mike a bit of advice. Maybe no one else in this room will understand it, but I know you and I will. It's one word, it's focus. And Brenda, Well, it finally happened. Whereas the last 10 months gone. Brenda and I got engaged last August, September timeframe. And at that time we thought we had a lot of time to prepare for this day. And it just came by just like this. And within a couple hours it'll be all over. But before we like to start thanking some of the people in these last 10 months, I guess we dared when we went to rent an MC because he can't even pronounce my last name. Thank God I postdated the check. One fear I have when I start thanking people is I may forget to mention someone's name. So please accept my apologies as I'll try to acknowledge everyone to the best of my memory. One special thank you should go to Grandpa Brown. He was one of the first ones to find out that we were engaged, and he managed to keep it a secret from Brenda's mom and dad until we actually got back to Mooseman and told them. So that was a feat. Thanks, Grandpa. Early last fall, my sister Deanne and my brother-in-law John threw a surprise for Brenda anyways, engagement party at my house, or at their house, sorry. And my whole family was there, my godmother was there, and things like that. And it was really, really nice. And Brenda's parents happened to be in that weekend, and Sandy and that. And we just all made it sound like it was just going to be a family dinner. And when we showed up, it was a surprise party for us. I caught wind of it, but it was a big surprise for Brenda. Thank you. There was 2 all-women showers that we had. One in Winnipeg and the other one in Mooseman. Gloria, Deanne, Renata, my sisters and sister-in-law. My mom, thanks for the one in Winnipeg. Sandy, Brenda, Mom Docto, Cheryl, Aunt Isabel, all those teacher wives and everybody, thanks a lot. As you've come to know, Blair's quite a character, and it's taken him 28 years, but he finally got me back 2 weekends ago. They threw a surprise Jack and Jill shower at his house, and a lot of the people here tonight were in attendance. And for people that don't know what a Jack and Jill shower is, it's a shower for both sexes. There was a big party and a karaoke machine, and we got pretty silly. I thank both of you for that. Brenda and I would like to thank all those who stayed up last night and bear with us. And Tony and I sort of had our arguments about how the table should be set up and that, but everybody that helped out decorate this place, you guys did a fabulous job. Thank you. As Dan Day mentioned earlier, special thanks to the caterers, serving this many people at such a short notice. Worked out fine. My meal is delicious. Hope everybody else felt that way. Thanks, Interlake. A very big special thank you should go to Father Jerry for marrying us off today and helping me through my vows. He provided us support and direction these last few months, and everything came into place today and is fantastic. Thanks, Father. Special thanks to my close friends. Special thanks to my close friends Jason, Rod, who cannot be here tonight. Excuse me, please. Rod had an accident last year, and I don't know if I ever really got over it or not. To Jason, Rod, Paul, and Ken, we've all managed to stay close even after many months apart. Guys, I appreciate it. A special thank you to the parents of these guys that over the years I took up home there sometimes, and you guys fed me and you dressed me, and I appreciate it. Thanks. As Blair mentioned, I had a couple girlfriends in my past. And I also had one really special friend. She taught me a lot about myself during the influential years that I call 15 to 25. Thank you, Leslie. To all my other relatives, friends, neighbors, people I haven't seen in 10 years, people that still call me Baby Michael, all you guys, it's nice seeing you again. Thank you for coming out. And it means a lot to Brenda, myself, and my parents. Thank you, folks. I'm not supposed to announce any out-of-town guests because 2/3 of the people are from out of town, but I'm going to break the rule here, and one special thank you to my Uncle Alec and Aunt Frances who came in from BC. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you should go out to my godparents, Ed Patrick, who's been waving to me all night, and Joyce Anderson, who's been attending all kinds of parties in the last year. Thanks. Claire mentioned I work at MTS, and Brenda works at MTS, and they're all sitting by the door. I don't know what that means, but one nice thing to say is nothing has changed at work since we got engaged. Special thanks to my colleagues at work, and especially my manager, who has, after initial shock of our engagement, it took him a couple days to get over it, continued to provide us with a great working atmosphere. I just had to pay him $10 so Brenda wouldn't be my immediate supervisor anymore. Thank you. I was going to thank our photographer, Walter, but since you all had to wait for us, I'll skip that one. To our videographer, Bob, thanks in advance, so we see the product. Thank you. To Glynis, Liz, and Brent, you guys, I actually did hear you guys up there. You guys sounded great. Thank you. To Brad and Robert, you guys had the unenvious task of being our delivery men this morning and for crowd control of the church. Thank you, guys. Thanks to all the church readers. We had a shock last night that 6 new people were going to do some reading and try and find 6 people, but we did. Thanks, guys, especially to Brenda Schuster and my sister Deanne. You guys all did a great job. Thank you. This one, I don't know. I have written here, thank you, Dan, for emceeing tonight. As you can speak for everyone, you're doing a great job. Thanks, Dan. A big thank you to the bridal party, Cheryl, Brenda, Ken, Rick, and Brent. The whole time since I asked you guys, and Brenda asked the bridesmaids and that, you guys have been enthusiastic, and your support's been great, and whatever we said, you guys just said, you know, if we said jump, you said how high, you said we're doing this, you said fine, you guys have been great. You made a special day for us. Thank you. Two super big special thank yous to Susie and Michael, my niece and nephew, our flower girl and ring barrier, as Michael would say. You guys are perfect. And I just want to remind Michael now, it's now Auntie Brenda. Special thank you to Brenda's sister Sandy. She was a cornerstone in this marriage. Sandy, you helped her a lot. Thank you. Well, Blair's turn. Well, what can I say, Blair? You toasted, roasted, deep fried, and then broiled me. Thank you for everything. A really big thank you to Grandma for baking the fruit cake. And when I caught wind that she was doing it in Moosomin, Should we make another one in Yorkton? Because I would not accept a Mooseman wedding ticket out of Yorkton. Thank you, Grandma. A very warm thank you to Mom and Dad Docto, who from day one have treated me as their own son. I really appreciate that. It has made these marriage preparation plans so much easier and a lot of fun. Thank you. Also, I'm not sure we could have pulled off this wedding as smoothly as we did without the help of my sister Gloria. I usually don't get this misty, but not only did she make our wedding cake, she was there every step of the way. And thank you very much. I need a referee to yell out right in our stuff. Our families and friends have provided us with so much support. I cannot put it into words tonight, but Brenda and I are both forever thankful and grateful. Thank you all. I thought I was Mr. Organization until I met Brenda. She organized my organization. All I can say is thank you, hon, for being my guiding light throughout all of this. Thank you. Dirk kind of told you what my home life was, but he kind of forgot to mention that I was an only child with 3 grown-up brothers and sisters, and lots of nieces and nephews. I was an Uncle Mike before, I don't know, about 10 years old. That was kind of hard to swallow. 28 years ago today, well, not quite today, but a funny thing happened to my family, as you guys know it. They had 3 children, a couple of teenagers, and a 10-year-old. You guys do your math to figure out how really old my brothers and sisters are. And then all of a sudden, I appeared, baby Michael. Accident, we're not quite sure. There's 2 people at the end of the table. Excuse me. At the far end of the table that had to readjust their lives to accommodate me. And they did just that. They gave me everything I could possibly ask for. So much so that my brothers and sisters use the word spoiled quite a bit. They supported me through school and, more importantly, sports. Because as long as I've been alive, sports for some reason took more precedence over school. They were always there to share my ups and downs. They provided me the guidance, the leadership, and have continually made me proud to be who I am. You're supposed to be one that's kind of it. I hope that I can someday thank them. But for now, all I have to say, Mom, Dad, I love you very much. Thank you. And now, I wish I could remember whose wedding it was at, but one of my good friends, and I'm not sure who it was, said to start off any wedding right, you should always give the bride the last word, and that's what I'm going to do. Here.
Well, I think I should have gone first because he pretty much covered everything I'm going to say, but I'm going to go through it again. First of all, I want to thank Dan, Brad, and Blair for their kind words and their not so kind words. Our attendants, thanks for the party. They were great. Blair, Rick, although I couldn't go to Rick's for some reason, I don't know. Special thanks to Brent, our singing groomsman. All I can say is thank God there was no karaoke machine at the church today. Special thanks also to my sister Sandy Thanks for working at Sue's Drive Salon. You can quit anytime you want, Dad. But seriously, thank you all for all your help, especially through this past week, and for being here with us today. It really means a lot to us. Thanks, Gloria, for decorating our wedding cake. Didn't she do a fabulous job this time? Thanks, Mama, for making the fruit cake. I hope everyone got a piece when they came in. If not, I'm sure there's lots of them in there. Renata, Deanna, Gloria, thank you for putting on the shower announcement. It was great. Sandy, Glenda, Cheryl, Lori, Brenda, Jerry. Those are those teachers' wives. Thanks for the shower announcement. It was great, too. Thanks, Bob, for being there first thing in the morning to get me on the videotape. Appreciate it. Thanks to my manager, Graham. Everyone's probably not aware, but I think Graham is actually responsible for Mike and I being here today. You see, about a year and a half ago, Graham convinced Mike and I that we should pose for the infamous CIS at your fingertips brochure. I didn't know at the time that he was actually trying to set us up, but we figured it out. Thanks, man. Thanks to all the people who traveled so far to be with us today, from Vancouver, Osoyoos, Edmonton, all over Saskatchewan, and all over the North End. Thanks to our parents, Mom and Dad, for all your help and support, and especially for putting up with us through all the planning of this wedding, and just for being there for us when we needed you. And thanks, Mike, for making this happen and staying around.
Everybody knows what makes him avid sportsman. You know, he's played a lot of ball and curling. How many people were aware that he was a hunter? You know, as a matter of fact, not long after he had met his future father-in-law, Tony, they were going to go hunting. And Mike says to him, you know, let's go for big game hunting up north, a fly-in trip, moose hunting. And Tony says, I don't know about this, you know, like I like golf, I like curling, I like going to hockey games and all this thing. Mike says, no, this is great, I've been there before. You just fly in, everything is fine. So anyhow, they arranged to go on this flying trip, so the pilot takes them in, lands in this lake, taxis to shore, they get out, and the pilot says to them, okay guys, I'll be here exactly 1 week from now. So 1 week rolled around, and the pilot comes back with his plane, and here's Tony and Mike, two great big bull moose. And the pilot says, look guys, I told you when we were coming up that I could only take one carcass home, one moose carcass. I can't take two, the plane will never get off the water. And Mike says, no problem. He says, here last year with a plane the same size as yours. We loaded up and we took off. And the
the pilot says, well, okay, if you did it last year, fine, all right, we'll try it. So they load the carcasses on the pontoons, they load up all their equipment, get into the plane, taxi to the far end of the lake, and say takeoff. Plane bounces along. Finally, near the end, it rises, gets over the first row of trees, makes the first hill, but doesn't make the second row of trees and goes crashing in. Plane upside down, Tony picks himself up, grass leaves in his hair, confetti too, and anyway, he looks around, there's Mike picking himself up, and Tony says to Mike, Mike, where are we? Mike says, about a half mile further than last year. I do have one or two telegrams here. I have one from Jerry and Sylvia Kovicus, who are originally from Mooseman, but I guess, what was it, January, they took up missionary work in, correct me if I'm wrong, Kiribati, which is the old Gilbert Islands, which is in the South Pacific, which is, you can't get there from here. Way in the South Pacific, I don't know how many miles, I think the closest place is probably New Zealand, is that right? Fiji? Fiji. And this is the letter that they write to Brenda and Mike. Dear Brenda and Mike, congratulations on your exchange of marriage vows today. Soon this day of celebration will be over, but a new life will be beginning for both of you. We ask that God be with you through your journey of life, and may you both receive many blessings in the many years ahead. We wish we could be with you. We are thinking about you. All the best from Jerry and Sylvia at Amiens, Kiribati in the Central Pacific. Just one other little telegram that says, congratulations on your wedding, Brenda. You still hold the record for the most freckles. Good luck from New York and Freckles King Committee. At this time, I'd like to perhaps go through the cake cutting. Are there any other telegrams or lists? I don't have any more with me, but if not, we'll go through the cake cutting. Okay. Any pictures, I suppose? You can take pictures as they're about to go through that.